Hey guys, welcome back. I am DC, your host of Barside Jive Live, and we are so happy. Actually, we're thrilled to death that you guys chose to hang out here with us at the very cool vocal studios in North Dallas. This show happens at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time every freaking Thursday and features some of the very best singer-songwriters in the U.S. of A. By the way, you can now follow all my shows on Apple iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Twitch, Spreaker, Google Play, TuneIn, and Deezer. Let's make this simple. Anywhere you can find cool content, Barside Jive is there. In fact, if you happen to be listening to us as a podcast, I'm talking audio only right now, you can view the show by going to vocalnow.com. And remember, vocal is intentionally misspelled with a
K.
That's right, Brad, with a K. And look at the top of the app or the top of your browser, and you should see us live right now. Also, all of my content is on demand on my YouTube channel. Just search for Barside Jive Live. Barside Jive is also sponsored by The Zoo, the world's best rock, and can be streamed 24/7, 365 at, once again, vocalnow.com. Tonight, I have singer, songwriter, bluesman Rocky Athas in the studio. But first, all right. My rock music segment is brought to you by Old Grapevine Cigar and Tobacco Shop, located in historic downtown Grapevine, Texas. Tonight, our featured cigar is the Drew Estates Liga Privada Private Blend, number 9, Corona Viva. Say that fast 3 times. Pre-release. This cigar is a pre-release, and we've got a photo.
I love photos.
I do too. Isn't Jay so good at bringing up photos?
He is.
That's good, Jay. And Jay, what a choice in photos.
Jay smoking that one?
Yeah, currently.
Jay does smoke a cigar. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he just can't smoke in the building,
Yeah.
but he does smoke a cigar, yeah. Well, anyway, guys, this flavor-packed cigar is quickly going to garner a cult following. Remember, I said it's a pre-release. That's because Drew Estate beefed up the 94 rated recipe by adding a bit more Ligero to the core. Bold, delicious Ligero. Expect more flavor, more oomph, more boldness, more reasons to love Liga Privada number 9, as if there weren't enough already. If you're a fan of Liga full-bodied cigars or dark creations, it's what they used to call the bee's knees. And I know many of you don't even know what bee's knees were, right? So, you don't? Okay, so when like bees flip from flower to flower, right, the nectar would stick to their legs.
Okay.
Okay? So the phrase bee's knees means sweet and good because the knees of the bee are where all the sweet, good stuff is.
So it's the bee's knees.
Does that make sense?
I like it.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good, right?
Yeah, I want some honey.
All right. So go see Kenny, honey. So go see Kenny Tom Ardena. No honey there. At the Old Grapevine Cigar and Tobacco Shop for your Drew Estate Liga Privada number 9 Corona Viva. It's a pre-release, guys. And for all your smoking needs. Now we got to talk a little rock and roll news. And what better band than start out our news segment with Metallica? And got some bad news. Metallica no longer headlining Sonic Temple and Louder Than Life festivals. That's right, guys. Got some bad news for you. Metallica have pulled out of the Sonic Temple and Louder Than Life festivals. They were scheduled to play both Friday and Sunday night, performing 2 different sets at each. James Hetfield has released a statement. That's right, guys, a statement further detailing the news, and I got it right here on Barside Jive. Dear Metallica family, It pains me to write this, but I have to let all of you know that I cannot make it to Sonic Temple in Columbus and Louder Than Life in Louisville this year. As part of my continuing effort to get and stay healthy, I have critical recovery events on those weekends that cannot be moved. I apologize to all of our fans who have bought tickets for these festivals. We are working with the festival promoters to provide refunds or exchanges. My intent with this statement is saying I apologize to each one of you. The reality is that I have not prioritized my health in the past year of touring, and I now know that my mental health comes first. That might sound like a no-brainer for most of you, but I didn't want to let the Metallica team or family down, and I alone completely compromised myself. Looking on the brighter side, my therapy is going well. It was absolutely necessary for me to look after my mental, physical, and spiritual health. I want to stress that the band will play all other announced 2020 shows. I'm looking forward to getting back to playing and seeing all of our great South American fans in April. And, of course, playing Epicenter in Charlotte. Welcome to Rockville in Daytona and Aftershock in Sacramento. We will still play 2 unique sets at each of these festivals. Beyond 2020, I am optimistic about the blessings I have been given and what the future brings. I appreciate all of the great prayers and support from everyone since I went into rehab last September. Like the moth into the flame, being human in this career has its huge challenges and can be difficult. Your understanding helps the healing. James Hetfield. Well, guys, so that at least that part of the tour is off, but we got more coming from Metallica, so that's a good thing. But that happens in this industry, just like he said, and hate to hear it, but I'm glad he's sought help for his needs, and we wish him the best as he continues on his road to recovery. On a more positive note, the Black Keys are hitting the road, appearing in 35 markets over a summer run that spans July into September. The group will hit the road beginning July 7th in Seattle, crossing the country, with the tour wrapping up in Jacksonville, Florida on September 6th. The Grammy-winning rockers will be joined on the run by another big Grammy winner, as blues rock guitarist Gary Clark Jr. will be on board for the majority of the run. In addition, All Alas, Jesse Wilson, the Marcus King Band, and Yola will also play select dates during the tour. Tickets for the run will go on sale this Friday, February 28th at 10 a.m. local time via the band's website. The current run continues the band's support of their Let's Rock album. So check out their 2020 summer tour schedule on my Facebook page. Just go to Barside Jive Live. And that wraps my rock news. Oh, Jay. That wraps my rock news for this Thursday. If you like my rock music news, then my Tuesday and Thursday shows, 7:30 p.m., are the place to come. If you like rock and roll history, then turn on and tune into my daily dose of rock music simply by checking out my YouTube channel. It's the Daily Dose playlist, Barside Jive Live.
Yeah, give me my own Luigi.
All right, my live music showcase is sponsored by Hip and Hippie. Hip and Hippie is a planet-loving company known for its high-quality, earth-friendly, 100% recyclable candle line and natural body care products. It's no wonder eco-supporting people love Hip and Hippie, hipandhippie.com. My guest today is Rocky Athas. Rocky is known by critics and fans as the Texas Tornado, the Malice from Dallas, the young Eric Clapton, and the last great blues breaker guitarist. Possesses an arsenal of punishing guitar riffs and catchy hooks that have opened every door. From his first solo album at Willie Nelson Studio with the multi-Grammy-winning producer Jim Gaines, to recording with Buddy Miles and Stevie Ray Vaughan's Double Trouble, to Glenn Hughes, Joe Walsh and John Mayall. Rocky has a blues rock pedigree that reads like a who's of musicians. You might not know how to pronounce his name correctly, but you will most certainly remember his playing. With his wonderfully crafted new album, Shakin' the Dust, Rocky is here to announce his return from the international touring stage with the godfather of British blues to reclaim his rightful place front and center, delivering his musical message with Texas style. After carrying the mantle of the coveted role of lead guitarist with John Mayall's Blues Breakers for 8 years, Rocky Athas renewed his successfully established solo career. The much-anticipated reunion between Rocky's good friend and multi-Grammy-winning producer Jim Gaines delivered Shakin' the Dust to rave reviews and garnered a nomination for Album of the Year. Partnering repeatedly with Grammy Award-winning producer Jim Gaines, Rocky Athas has released a series of albums including Miracle, Voodoo Moon, Lightning Strikes Twice, Let My Guitar Do the Talking with My Friends, and his band of Texas musicians wows audiences everywhere they go. So let's welcome Rocky Athas to Barside Jive Live.
How you doing, Dale?
Hey, Rocky, how are you?
Well, I'm doing good.
Great. So great having you in the studio finally.
Absolutely.
Man, I've been working on this for well over a year.
Glad to be here.
Yeah. It's probably the only reason that I got you here is because I think your wife is the one that answers your messages on Facebook, right? Because if I'd talked to you directly, I'd have still been trying.
Yeah, I usually just watch Pawn Stars.
Yeah. Well, tell me, how's it going? How's things?
Well, it's going real good. I'm actually in the studio as we speak, making a new album since my last release, Shakin' the Dust.
Right.
And we are only 2 songs short of having the complete album, and I've got to find those.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So I'm just
so you got to write them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And we ended up dropping 3. They just didn't work out right.
Okay.
So kind of went this far, and then we came back. But anyway, I got 2 more songs, and I been staying busy,
Good.
Yeah, I just got back from Duluth, Minnesota, and Kansas City, Missouri. So
Right.
yeah, we're just making it happen, or at least trying to, right?
Yeah. We were just before the show, Rocky and I were in his wife were talking about you recently spent some time with Kim Savoy Brown at the Arlington Music Hall.
Yeah, I did several tours with him with my group, and also when I was with John Mayall. So I know Kim real well.
Right.
And he called when he came into town and said, hey, you want to come out? I'm playing in Arlington Music Hall.
Right.
Well, yeah, man. Let me see if Pawn Stars is on. So.
Yeah, right. I'm sure you did.
No.
Yeah.
And so I went out there, ended up doing nearly the whole show with him on the second performance he did. It was a lot of fun. It really was.
Yeah.
Good venue too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool venue. Absolutely. Yeah. A lot of national acts as well as a lot of local talent are playing there. So yeah, it's a cool place. Yeah, that's really cool that he called you up and you got to do that. For many, your career kind of starts, or guys I've talked to, as far as they're concerned, your career started with Lighten, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people still remember that band, which was one of the biggest draws in the Texas nightclub history, right?
Yeah, we pulled a few people out.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, and you regularly open for national acts.
Oh yeah.
Right. So tell me how this music thing got started for you in your life up to the point that you guys started Lightning.
Okay. Well, actually, I was mostly into sports, as a young boy. And
what did you play?
I was a pitcher.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And but
Now you talking about high school, Rocky?
Yeah, all the way through high school.
All the way through.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
And my brother was a musician. He's the one that taught me how to play guitar, my brother Nick.
Oh.
And we happened, now see, I was just full-blown sports.
Yeah.
And then I saw the Beatles. I was 10 years old.
Yeah.
And that's when I started doing both a little bit, you know, and going, wow, this is totally the greatest.
Yeah.
And that's how that started. And then my brother taught me how to play. And then, of course, you start hunting for other guys that can play.
Yeah.
Which my first drummer was a bongo player. So, yeah, I'm sure that sounded real good.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody had a set of drums.
Yeah.
But anyway, that led to basically getting with some older guys who were like 21.
Oh, wow.
Out of high school. While I was in high school, I mean, they had all the roller rinks booked and apartment parties. And I just thought, in my mind then, I'd made it, you know?
Right.
And then it just led to finally finding some players in Cleburne, Texas, that I played with, Chris Skiles and Kevin Leck. And from there, we started getting all kinds of shows and opening up for people, and was playing the club circuit or whatever you want to call it. And it just went from there. And that's when we decided, because the band was named Lambert back then, back a long time ago. And then we decided to start our own group, and we called it Lightning. And that's when it started.
Kind of took off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, now how old is your older brother, right?
Yeah.
How much older was he?
He's 7 years older. So he's 72.
Okay. So he was a guitar player?
Still is.
Still is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He writes on a guitar. And
oh, does he?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Very cool. So now, my understanding is you're not just a native of Texas. You're like more than that because, well, no, you're a native of Dallas,
mm-hmm.
but you're more specifically, you're a native of Oak Cliff.
Oh yeah,
right.
I lived there till 20 years ago.
Wow.
I mean, that's where I was born and raised,
right.
Oak Cliff, Texas.
Right.
Along with Stevie and Jimmy and
right.
Jimmy Wallace. Wow. That Oak Cliff. Pretty cool area, I still go there a lot, especially to eat their Mexican food.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's some good Mexican food over there. So, did you live pretty close to Jimmy and Steve?
It's walking distance.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up. It was kind of funny. One of my first bands. This is how far back it goes. I was in the 5th grade, and I used to practice one street over from where Stevie lives on Glen, or used to live years ago.
Yeah.
And we were like childhood friends, Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Right.
Of course, he was called Steve then, but anyway, he used to come over to listen to us practice when he'd hear us tinkering around, Of course, we were kids.
Right. But you were older than him.
But no, he's older than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yes. And he would come over, and I just remember one particular time he came and he wanted to, play with us. And the guy who was playing guitar with me at the time said, "Man, you can't come in. My mother isn't home." She said, "Nobody else can come in except the band." And so he goes, "Well, okay." And so he said, "But you can play with, this ball." And Stevie that was out in the front yard. And this really is a true story.
Okay.
And he was kicking it up in the air and throwing it up on the roof and having it bounce back down to him, waiting until, I think, it was Charles Mills. That was him. Anyway, waiting till Charles' parents came home, and then he could come in. But it's just a vision that I still have as clear as day.
Wow.
And we were going to rehearse House of the Rising Sun because that's the songs everybody was doing.
Right.
And obviously I was doing it wrong. And Steve said, "Hey, let me show you what I learned." And I went, "That sounds better." And so he showed me his little pick pattern on it, So
Yeah.
that's how far back it goes. I was in the 5th, and he was in the 6th grade then.
Wow. So he was just a year older.
Yeah.
Well, now Jimmy was several years older then.
Yeah, I'm not real sure how old Jimmy is, but yeah, he was already taking names by the time I.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was. I think in the Chessman.
Yeah. He kind of left for that scene pretty early in life.
Yeah, so he was. And I actually saw Jimmy. And I remember talking to Steve about it in lunch one day, in lunch period.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's awesome. Jimmy Vaughn was opening up for Jimi Hendrix, and I kept thinking that's Steve's brother.
Right.
He's the Chessman.
Right.
Whoa, and he was awesome that night. Just awesome. And I remember me and Steve talking about it at lunch the next day.
Right.
And he was telling me some story about a wah-wah that he got from Jimmy.
Yeah.
For something.
Yeah.
And it's just funny. That was just our history in the town.
Yeah.
We're all in that
little group
of like-minded musicians.
Yeah. A lot of talent.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Wow. You and the Vaughns, and a lot of talent came out of Oak Cliff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Rocky, for the few people out there that may not be familiar with your stuff, why don't we just play them a little?
Sounds good to me.
Anything particular you want to start with? These are all out. These are all off your newest album.
Okay. Well, I think Dictator would be a good one to start. That's the one that they did the video on for us, and
right.
We can check that one out.
All right. Well, it just happens to be in the #1 slot. So
okay. There you
go. I don't know how that
how
happened,
that
but
works out.
yeah, it is. So here we go. This is Dictator, and you're watching Barside Jive live with Rocky Athas.
There's something I want to tell you, something I got to say. When your life is in the fast lane, please get out of the way. Dictator drives me insane. Rule maker, get out of my lane. You're messing with my life. Don't let the people fool you on the road that you take. The signal's red, but the sign is green. Don't yield, pull over or stay. Dictator drives me insane. Rule maker, get out of my lane. You're messing with my life.
guys. We are back with Rocky Athas, and I want to tell you, by the age of 23, the Oak Cliff, Texas native had been included in Buddy Magazine's now legendary list of top guitarists, one of the first and the youngest to receive that honor, which is quite an accomplishment, Rocky. Rocky shares that honor with Eric Johnson, Jimmy and Stevie Ray Vaughan, Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top, and Johnny Winter. Wow.
Yeah,
that's huge.
That was pretty cool when it happened.
Yeah.
You know? But that came out of nowhere. You know,
Yeah.
Just one day they go, hey, did you know you're picked? And I was like, well, okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You didn't have to pay for it.
No, it wasn't. It just came my way. That's good.
Yeah, that is really awesome, Rocky.
Thank you.
So how many years did Lightning, how many years did you guys play?
Well, let's see. Maybe 10 years off and on.
Yeah.
You know, and then after Lightning, because we did so many dates with people like Black Oak, Arkansas, and stuff like that, Jim Dandy called and wanted to know if I wanted to come record with him on a new album and go out on tour.
Yeah.
And the money felt really much better.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
I went out with Black Oak for the longest time.
Right.
We did, as a matter of fact, Black Oak's last greatest hits album, I have 2 songs on that album that I wrote. And now, funny story, I didn't find that out, that there was a greatest hits album, till I decided to go look at stereos with my wife at Best Buy. So I walk into Best Buy and I thought, well, I'm just going to look at the Beatles section and see if they've got that remastered thing they had.
Okay,
you know,
right.
something. And I saw Black Oak, Arkansas, and I looked and said greatest hits, and I hadn't seen that when I turned it over, and there was 2 of my songs. That's how I found out.
Wow.
That's kind of weird.
Did you call Jim Dandy up and say,
No. I mean, you know, that was a part of the contract. They can repackage, do whatever they want to do. But that's how I found out. You know, that's how funny this business is sometimes. You go, well, I'm on a greatest hits album now, so that's kind of cool. But anyway, that's
wow. So you're not so no paycheck.
No, I got my paycheck.
Okay.
You know, but I didn't know it was coming.
Right.
You know.
Oh, okay.
Because it comes off of airplay mostly. But,
right.
But yeah, and you know, a thing called mechanicals. I think you probably know what that is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I mean that worked out like 4 years after I had left Black Oak.
Wow.
You know, it's like, oh well, cool. And then after that, I started playing with Glenn Hughes.
Oh, yeah. I love Glenn Hughes.
Yeah, we did an album and toured together. 1999, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And he's a great guy. We still speak now and again.
Yeah.
I went on tour with Mayall, and I asked the guys, who's opening up? Who are we playing with here in Italy, you know? Well, it's Glenn Hughes. I went, take me to the gig. I mean, I went down early and we both didn't know each other was there, you know. And
right.
I was waiting outside his dressing room and he
right.
goes, Rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah, so that was kind of neat. Then after playing with Glenn Hughes, I played with Buddy Miles and Double Trouble. Did a really good album called The Bluesberries with those guys, and we only did 1 tour, and then Buddy fell sick, real sick, and I only did a few dates with him after that, and then of course, you know, he passed away not long after that. But yeah, that was a good album.
Yeah.
Playing with Stevie's band was pretty cool, Double Trouble.
Right.
I mean, at least doing that album, you know, because they couldn't come out and do, except for, you know, a couple dates, you know, but doing the whole album with them was a lot of fun.
Oh, I guess so, yeah. Right.
And then I had started doing my thing again, and, you know, when I did that project with the Bluesberries, that's how I met Jim Gaines.
Right.
And he said, why don't we do something with you? And I went, okay.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You're all giddy all of a sudden.
Yeah, all of a sudden. And he's produced every one of my albums.
Yeah.
Since.
He's a legendary producer.
Yeah, and I co-write with Jim too. There's several people that have done our songs, country people that I didn't intend the songs to go that way, but they made it work.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Right.
No.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah. And so then after that, I got with John Mayall.
Right.
And I was with that John Mayall over 7 years, maybe close to 8, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a heck of a lot of fun. And then I felt like, it's time to do my thing now.
Yeah.
So I put out Shaking the Dust, and that was 2 years ago, roughly. And so now I'm in the studio finishing up a new album for all of those people interested.
Yeah. When is that going to be released, Rocky?
As soon as I write these last 2 songs.
Oh, so we're just waiting on you to write.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It's kind of a iffy time right now because I was hoping that I could get it out, like before around this Christmas time that just passed.
Right.
But I wasn't happy with all of the music yet, so it'll probably come out before the summer.
Right. Something interesting about Black Oak, Arkansas is first time somebody gave me an album to listen to of theirs, and probably their first, and I was like, wow, this is cool. Well, I got the same reaction from Kelly Garney, who was best friends with Randy Rhodes. They grew up together in Burbank, went to school together, just like you and Steve. Mm-hmm. And they started Quiet Riot. And just before they started Quiet Riot, they were going to concerts. Randy's older brother, they'd go to concerts. And they went to a concert, and the opening act got canceled. I can't remember who he said it was, but they got canceled. So they announced there was going to be another. They'd replaced them with another band, and it was going to be Black Oak, Arkansas. And Randy and Kelly were like, "Oh man, bummer. That sounds like country," And they were like kind of bummed out, but they were like, let's go, because they weren't the headliners, so we'll go ahead and go. It's just an opening act. And they said when Jim Dandy came out on the stage, it blew them away.
Yeah,
he said that was the coolest thing, and and we were laughing because that's the same reaction I had when I first heard them. And so, I mean, it's funny you got these guys from all these other bands that Jim Dandy, of course, he's been around forever.
Yeah,
right?
He's still out there doing it.
Yeah. And he's what in his 80?
No, maybe 70 something.
Yeah, late 70s maybe.
No, it'd be about 72 or 3.
Really?
Something like
that. That young?
Well, they made it when they were very young.
That's true. They really did.
Yeah.
They really did. Well, that was awesome that you have gotten to play with all these guys, and your ability is just amazing. And we're very proud, that we can call you neighbor. You grew up right here. You're still right here, and you just have all this freaking talent. And I think it's going to be really cool when we get this new album out. I hope that when you get that new album out, you'll come back on the show and we'll play some of it and talk about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's play for them one of your other songs off this album. What do you think we should do for number 2?
Well, what have you got there?
I've got no more. Number 2 slot was Lifeline.
Let's do Lifeline.
Lifeline?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Lifeline, this is Rocky Athas on Barside Jive Live.
Thank you. I didn't have the list in front of me.
Another long day, lonely night. I'm here alone, without a fight. I'm not right, and you're not wrong. Just need a little help to learn to get along. What's gonna genealogy needs therapy, and there is no room for jealousy. Real love is a rarity. What's gonna happen to you and me? We're in a sea of lonely, drowning desperately. We need a lifeline, can't you see? 'Cause without you, baby, I'm adrift at sea. It's been too long, now I see. I'll throw you a lifeline, please come with me. Tomorrow knows what we can be. I need you here, standing next to me. It's gonna happen for you and me. No sea of lonely for eternity. We built a lifeline, it's our legacy. Well, you're my baby, just you and me.
Okay.
Because it's a shuffle, and that's kind of more what I'm about. Although I do like doing slow songs, but
Right. Right. Guys, we're gonna play Texas Girls next. Rocky Athas here on Barside Jive Live. But we've been talking about some of the folks that Rocky has had in his life, in his music life anyway. And, well, I guess in his personal life now he's become friends with so many of these people. But we had talked about Glenn Hughes, and we're talking about the Glenn Hughes from Deep Purple and Trapeze, for those old-timers out there that remember Trapeze, and what a great band they were. And also with he one of his most recent projects, which we're not sure if he's moved away from or not, but Black Country Communion with
yeah, that's right.
Bonamassa and Jason
Yeah.
Bonham.
Yeah, I think that it's possible they're doing a new album, but I could be way wrong on that. So don't quote me.
Yeah. Well, he was telling me about Glenn Hughes and Rocky are both cat people, and they send each other cat pictures. So yeah.
That's pretty funny.
So that's good. Well, you got to do something with all that extra time.
Most of my musician friends hate cats, so
Do
I
they?
usually just don't say anything. But it's like, oh, cats!
I
can't
finally
stand
got
them.
somebody who can send a cat picture too.
Yeah, so
We can
you don't
relate.
look at those funny cat things.
Now, is Glenn, is he over in Europe, or does he live here in the States?
He
or-
lives in the States,
Does he? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
out in L.A.
Okay,
or
cool.
real close to that. But he's out there in that scene.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about Johnny and Tommy Bolin.
Well, interesting. I met Johnny Bolin when I was playing with Black Oak, Arkansas. He became the drummer.
Uh-huh.
And skip a few years, I asked Johnny to do my first album with me, the Miracle album. And so Johnny did that. And while we were doing that album, I ran into Glenn Hughes. And Glenn Hughes, they all put together a Tommy Bolin tribute.
Oh, okay.
And that's what our album was, is we redid songs, great songs that Tommy Bolin wrote, to kind of revisit them and show people how great those songs were then.
Right. Now, we're talking Tommy Bolin of Deep Purple fame,
yes.
James Gang, Zephyr.
Right.
Zephyr,
that was the first big band he was in.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he was just Tommy Bolin.
Right.
But, yeah, and Johnny had a few little health issues, and he retired for a minute just to kind of recoup.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's back with Black Oak, Arkansas. He's
out
touring with them again. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, very cool.
But yeah, it was really cool. Johnny's a great guy. I'd go to Johnny's house when we were like in Sioux City, Iowa, and they still have Tommy's room frozen in time, from identical, even to the velvet pants on the back of the door, that he left there to go out and do a couple of dates when he accidentally had an accident,
Wow.
And I just thought that was the greatest thing. That
wow.
No, this is Tommy's room.
Yeah.
It'll always be Tommy's room.
And they've just kept it that same way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's it was real moving for me, and then buy him birthday cake on his birthday and stuff.
Wow.
But Johnny and I are still super close. I played in Nebraska a couple of weeks ago, and that's not too far from Iowa.
Yeah.
And Johnny was trying to come out and see us play, and he got snowed in. So
yeah,
it's like, oh well.
Yeah, that's up there with all those states that there's nothing there to see. They're just it's pretty desolate.
Hey, look, there's a truck stop. Let's go.
I know. I had this crazy idea one time. I spent the summer in Jackson, Wyoming, for like 4 months, and decided, well, I wanted to see that Custer battlefield, so I drove back north and east, and then I had this crazy idea to cut through a bunch of those states just to see what they look like.
Yeah.
I should have read up on it first, because that was the biggest waste of gasoline.
Like they haven't mowed in years.
Yeah, just field after field, and just nothing. It was horrible, but hey, I learned. So
that's right.
My geography's a lot better today. Oh man! So, and then you wind up with the godfather of blues, John Mayall and the Blues Breakers.
Yeah, that was awesome. I actually loved playing with John. John was, it was a weird story. I got a phone call. I was driving down I-30 going to the studio, and it said unavailable. And usually I don't pick those up because it's some knucklehead going, hey, you want to sell your house?
Right.
And you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to deal with that.
Nowadays it's the IRS or Social Security Department got a warrant or whatever.
Yeah. So I don't know why I picked it up, because it might have made the difference of getting the gig and not.
Wow.
But I went ahead and went, hello, Yeah. Hello, Rocky. Yeah. Okay, so this is funny.
Wow.
Long story. I have a friend, named Brian Parker, who used to, when I was working with Glenn Hughes, he could sound just like Glenn. And he would call me on the phone and go, hello, Rocky, this is Glenn. And I'd go, hey, Glenn, what's going on? I'd talk to him for like 3 or 4 minutes till I hear this strange giggle. And I go, and finally I recognized his laugh, and I went, Brian, you so-and-so.
Yeah.
So I'm going down 30, like I said, and I saw an unavailable.
Right.
And I heard somebody with an English accent on the other end. Hello, Rocky.
Right.
Rocky Athas. My English is terrible. But anyway, I said, oh, shut up, Brian.
Oh, wow.
And he said, excuse me? And I said, Brian? He goes, no, this is John Mayall. And I went, hello, John, how are you? I had, little did I know that he had already received my number from my webmaster, who couldn't get in touch with me. And he said,
oh, man.
I thought you'd want me to give it to him. I said, well, yes.
Yeah.
But I almost just, because I'm sure he went, what the heck?
Yeah, this guy.
I said, Brian, shut up. And he goes, excuse me? that was my
Thanks,
first.
Brian.
That was my first few words with John Mayall. Was
Well,
not
excuse
really
me.
thinking it was him. I thought it was my buddy Brian. He
Yeah.
used to play pranks on me when I worked with Glenn.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was. I'm sure John probably thought, "Whoa, what was that?"
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
I
I'm sure.
explained it to him. And he said, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, that's funny.
It was pretty funny.
So, what, he offer you a job right there on the phone?
Yeah.
Driving down the road?
He did. He
Did you have
said,
to
"I'd
pull
like
over?
He goes, "I've been." Well, I called my wife and said, "Looks like I'm going on the road again," and she said, "Oh, awesome."
Of course.
But
Paycheck.
yeah, but he asked me if I'd like to come and record a new album with him, and he said, "I bought all your records," and he goes, "I love them." I went, "Well, thank you."
That's a compliment.
Yeah, and so he said, "I thought you would be perfect for what I'm doing right now," and I said, "I think that would be awesome."
Wow.
And little did I know we'd be going out for 10 weeks at a time, because John can go out for many long stretches. And but it was good. They went by fast.
Yeah.
You know, and at the time he was letting my wife go out with me and get on the tour bus and ride, and
Wow.
you got to see the world, and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Although I got very ill in Russia.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I drank their water.
Oh, yeah. You got to be careful with that water.
Man,
These countries.
lasted almost 8 days straight. I was so sick.
Yeah. So far from home, too.
Yeah, you know, and you think you might be feeling a little better, and then it comes back again, and oh God.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was having to play gigs with that,
Yeah.
and during the drum solos and the bass solo, I would definitely just go sit down.
Yeah. Oh, brother, I used to live over there and in the Middle East, and I would travel, and I spent some time in Paris, and I got sick there. And I'm going to tell you, people need to get on the ground and kiss American soil and be thankful for our healthcare system, because as bad as some people may say it is, you haven't, until you've had healthcare in other countries, my experience was it's so much better here.
It is. And,
So-
you know, it's really funny. I was aware of the water situation. You know, we're all talking about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so they had backstage right before we went on in St. Petersburg. They had Diet Cokes, but they don't ever drink their drinks cold.
Right.
You know, they're just sitting on a table and
Right.
hot as hell.
No ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the guy, you know, I said, "Have you got any cold ones?" He goes, "No, but we have ice." I went, "Oh, cool."
Wow.
The ice melted in the drink.
Oh, and it
And they
was
said
there.
that probably concentrated the germ being in the ice like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but
Yeah.
that's how it happened, they think.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Wow.
I was sick all the way till we made it to England. And I'll never forget the day it lifted. It was like, oh my God, I feel better. It's like Christmas. It's a
Right.
sick you don't want to deal with.
Right.
It
Yeah.
is.
Wow. Well, you know, speaking of getting well, Texas girls will make you do that.
Yes, it will. It'll make you appreciate how beautiful the women are in Texas.
That's right. So let's give them a little Texas girls right here from Rocky Athas.
Yeah.
Hip shaker, nothing to me. I wouldn't trade my baby for a rich man's gold.
Guys, I want to thank Rocky for being here tonight. I kind of want to wrap this up, unfortunately, because of time. But, I've been listening to The Essential Rocky Athas Volume 1 and 2, and I love the fact that Rocky paid homage to artists who had influenced him, like Eric Clapton and Leslie West of Mountain. And I love Eric Clapton's work. Oh my gosh, from Cream forward. But Leslie West of Mountain was always one of my favorite bands ever.
Me too.
And that's cool. And of course, Mississippi Queen was one of my favorite songs ever. And I was tickled to death to hear that you covered it, and you did such a magnificent job. So I don't know if Leslie's heard it or not, but if he did, he ought to go, "Yeah, that's pretty badass," because it was such a great job, man.
Well, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah. What a great player, Leslie West. I mean, wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Best tone for rock blues I've ever heard.
Yeah.
For me, I love that Les Paul Jr. sound he had in the 70s.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So I know that you're in the studio now. We've talked about that. You're working on this latest album. You got a couple more songs to wrap up, and I know you've got some stuff coming up here in a few months. But I want to make sure people know how they can follow you, where they can purchase your music. I'm sure on all the platforms they can get your music probably anywhere.
Well, it's interesting. I do have people go, "Where can I buy that album?" I go, "Anywhere music is sold."
Right.
I mean, that's the only way I can break it down. You start going, well, you can go to
right.
But yeah, you can obviously do that. If you're interested, you can buy it anywhere music is sold. And my Facebook, is Rocky Athas business page or whatever. It's just Rocky Athas. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and come say hello.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we're going to be back. Rocky and I are going to get together again. We're going to do a more in-depth interview, and we're going to explore a lot more of his past and talk about his future too. So we're going to do that at another time, and look for that on my YouTube channel. Barside Jive Live. Well, guys, we're going to move on. We've got a few final notes. Well, beside my Tuesday and Thursday 7:30 p.m. live shows here at Vocal Studios, check out my weekly show in the Dallas Design District on Wednesdays from 7 to 8 p.m., 1523 Dragon Street, featuring singer-songwriters and visual artists. All of my content is on YouTube. Just search Barside Jive Live. I want to thank Jay and Jimmy, our production team, for all the hard work they do to make this show possible. And guys, we are just about out of here. I want to thank you again for hanging out with Rocky and I this evening. I've had a blast. I hope you have as well. We do appreciate your support of what we do. This show for me and Rocky's music for him. And we hope that you'll share us with your friends, family, and followers. And until next time, be kind to one another, keep it real, and keep on rocking. And what about I give you one more from Rocky Athas?
Thank you, Daryl.
You're welcome, Rocky. It's been a pleasure.
Yep, absolutely. Again from the top, please.
BarsideJiveLive.com.
The zoo gives you rock for the senses. For the senses. For the senses.
listens. Lows that evolve into highs that pierce.